So, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. And obviously, a lot of people are talking about it. I guess we're talking about it now, too. But here's the thing. My first reaction, honestly, when I saw this happen, I was, thought to myself, hey, that's what happens. You talk smack. If you talk smack, occasionally you're going to get smacked, right? That's what happens. And the reason I feel I didn't even think much about it. I was like, oh, he's got smacked. I kind of chuckled, whatever. But then everyone started getting like hype about it, right? Okay, so when you're in a SEAL platoon, occasionally someone's going to get smacked, right? When you're on a construction site, occasionally someone's going to get smacked. I guess more back in the day, but still, when you're at your house with your brother, someone's going to get smacked, right? I mean, it occasionally happens. Things escalate. Now, does this mean that I condone violence, right? A platoon scrap is not violence. You know what I'm saying? Like two high school kids on the same football team that get in each other's face, and maybe there's a takedown happen, maybe there's a couple slaps. I guess we could include that as violence, but I guess I condone that kind of violence. Is that bad?
No, and it's for a specific reason.
Okay.
Like you're talking about mutual, like accepted, like two people fighting. That's different than walking up to,
There's a reason though. First of all, a platoon scrap is not actual violence. It's a tension release, and it establishes or maintains or keeps maintenance of the pecking order. Now here's the thing, mind you, just like chimpanzees. Right? You know how the chimpanzees, the physical power, like the biggest, strongest chimpanzee, he won't actually maintain control of the tribe because eventually if he's an asshole, the other 2 or 3 chimps that are a little bit smaller will gang up on him and put him out of power. It's the same thing in a SEAL platoon. You can't just go around beating everyone up or you're going to catch a beat down. So there is times when, there's going to be a van fight, right? Or the 2 platoon guys are going to go out behind a mill van and throw it down. So that stuff's going to happen. Or occasionally someone's going to get slapped up for running their suck. And so it's a thing. Things occasionally get physical. And by the way, a slap isn't like a crazy thing. A slap doesn't really damage, right? A slap doesn't really leave damage. It's more humiliating than anything else, right? It's a humiliation thing. It's a statement. But it's not to knock someone out. If I want to fight you, I'm not going to slap you. I'm gonna punch you in the face, right? A closed fist is totally different. If I close my fist and punch you in the face, I'm trying to hurt you. Now listen, don't get me wrong. If someone slaps you, you're kind of authorized to retaliate.
It's on.
You could say it's on, right? Yeah. But tell me I'm wrong here. Whoever slapped you just gave you a warning that you're out of line. They're giving you an option to assess your behavior and stand down. I've slapped people before and had them stand down. So they might be right? If you're getting slapped by someone and you go, oh damn, like I didn't realize Echo was so sensitive about this thing, and I went too far, and I assess and go, eesh, I crossed the line. Now, if you punched me, it's on, right? There's really no choice, right? Are you in agreement that there's a difference?
Yes, you punch somebody, you have effectively started a fight.
It's a fight. Yeah. If you slap someone, you've really checked them. You need to be ready to fight because it's totally acceptable that if you get slapped, you're fighting. Yeah. But there is a difference between closed fist punch and a slap to the face. Yeah. So you might have deserved the slap. Now, did Chris Rock deserve to get slapped? In my opinion, no. He's a comedian, bro. He's a comedian. He's roasting people. That's what he does for a living, by the way. He's sitting there. He's going to roast anyone in that comes to that thing. Yeah. Is a viable option to get roasted.
And has always been like that, by the way.
Always been like that. And by the way, Will Smith is a famous and successful actor. It's not like he's picking on. You ever heard that thing about punching up?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard this? It's okay to punch up, but it's not okay to punch down. Yeah. So you're not allowed to make fun of. And this is, I actually mean this sincerely. You're not allowed. You shouldn't be making fun of someone that is in a less powerful position than you, right? You shouldn't be making fun of, the if you're out for dinner and you're a wealthy person and there's a waiter, and you start, belittling the waiter, you might get slapped because you're punching down. But it's generally more okay for someone to take shots at someone that's above them. And why is that? Well, because the person's in a position of power, they can kind of shrug it off. Yeah. So this room, by the way, is filled with all people that are all rich and all famous, including Will Smith and including his wife. She's an actress too, so she's famous. But Will Smith slapped him upside the head. So why is that? Why did that happen? And I didn't really know. I don't know much about celebrity people, about Hollywood, right? I don't know much about this scene. But when I saw that, I saw the replay, right? Because I'm not obviously sitting around watching these Oscars. So I see the replay and I thought to myself, he's got some issues, right? And he probably has some issues with his wife. I don't know anything about this dude, but I looked and they play in the replay. You could see Will Smith was laughing. That's a funny joke. He looked at his wife. She was pissed. Then he gets up and smacks Chris Rock. And were you going to say something?
Nope, I'm listening.
Okay, you're listening. Okay, yeah. So, if I'm wrong, please tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm just I don't know everything about this. I don't even know about these people, right? So,
there's a bunch of different separate elements that make up this whole incident.
Well, here's the thing. After I said to myself, there's something wrong with this dude. There's something wrong with their relationship. It turns out I was 100% right.
Yeah.
I was 100% right. I found out that his wife, that Will Smith's wife, and I don't know the details, but 100% she's been involved with other dudes, right? Yeah. Which is, apparently they split up for a while or they were together or whatever, but she was out with other dudes. And I read a little section. She got interviewed about it and said What's that?
They both did.
Okay.
They totally went public with that part.
Well, check this out. Thing. She said she got, quote, entangled with some other dude. Yeah. And then this other dude writes a rap song about being entangled with her, like as if what that actually means.
Yes, sir.
So you got all this stuff eating at Will Smith, right? I mean, this is eating at him. Now, I always thought, to me, in my opinion, I didn't know anything about Will Smith. All I know is what I see, on the front lines of media, right? Yeah. This is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? He just seemed like a nice, squared away guy. That's what I always thought. As soon as I didn't know about all this other stuff. I didn't know he had this crazy relationship with his wife. She's out being with other guys and stuff. That's got to drive him crazy, right? He's frustrated. And then it's like they got money going to Scientology. Start uncovering this kind of stuff. He gets wild real quick. So he's got all kinds of stuff going on. He's got issues. And this is like a road rage incident. Right? Or a person that swears at the cashier in the grocery store, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Or a person that starts a fight in the bar. They're not mad at the cashier. They're not mad at the person that cut them off. They're not mad at the person they bump into in a bar. They're having a bad day, or they're having in Will Smith's case, he's having a couple bad years, right?
Yes.
So they're going to lash out. And it's not good. It's weak. It shows insecurity. I mean, you're super insecure if you got to lash out like this. It reveals a lack of control, and it's just not strong behavior. Because the strong person's not going to get bothered by this kind of thing, right? It's a joke, right? You can't let and this goes for her too.
Yeah.
Right? Is there anything better to do if I go echo, you wish you had some hair? Is there any better response than for you to say, I wish I did too? Ha, ha, ha. We all laugh, right?
Yeah.
Or for you to be like, hey, don't make fun of my hair. Bro, all day long.
It's not a laughing matter.
In fact, you gave one of the best responses I've ever seen on social media. And I'm being totally serious. One of the best responses, somebody on social media, I posted about a podcast, and somebody wrote, I don't know why the other guy, echo in quotes, even talks. He's got nothing to offer. He doesn't bring anything to the table. And I wish he would just be quiet and let Jocko talk. And you responded, and you said, honestly, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And I was like, dude, Echo just won the internet. That's how you respond when someone's trying to get in, trying to get their little mark in on you. So when you go in the other direction and you get super defensive, it's showing that it's bothering you. It's showing you that you are insecure about the situation.
Yeah, seems that way.
If you're a strong man, right? You're kind of in an unassailable position. You people can say things to you and it's not going to really bother you. When you're a weak person or you feel like you're in a weak situation, you feel exposed and you feel like you got to lash out. But there's nothing, especially when someone just talks to you, nothing's going to bother. Someone that's a strong, powerful human, they don't get bothered when someone chirps at them. It just rolls off their back, whatever, man. But if you do get bothered, then there's something wrong. There's some kind of insecurity there, which is exactly what I think this revealed. Will Smith is probably insecure about his position that he is in with his wife, which is a bummer, man. Like I said, he seems like a nice guy. And he acted out in a way that makes him look like that. Look, could you say, look, he dishonored my wife?
That's what it was essentially all about.
You could go the path of, look, this guy dishonored my wife. Hey, if someone touches your wife, cool, you're cleared hot, right? If somebody does something that's like radically offensive to her, like maybe they say something that's just off the top ropes offensive, and you feel like you gotta crush somebody, cool.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
But if someone makes a joke about her,
yes. Bro, it's kind of cut and dry with that part of it.
I didn't know it was cut and dry.
Yes, because here's the thing.
Like you said, kind of cut and dry, because it's not quite cut and dry.
Nothing's really cut and dry. But okay, so you're saying disrespect. Yeah, if someone disrespects your wife in front of people, all this stuff, which that's kind of the two issues, right? That people are either for this whole incident or against the incident. Like for Will Smith, a guy standing up for his wife. Beautiful, right? People think. Or it's like, yeah, a guy can't take a joke or a girl can't take a joke, whatever, right? Which thing is, bro, what is he? He's not standing up for his wife? Bro, that was a joke from a comedian about a feature of Jada Pinkett Smith. She has alopecia, which is the same as, it's balding. That's all it is. It's not like cancer, so she had to shave her head or nothing. It's literally only for looks. That's what it is. The hair. Losing. Okay, cool. Not to say it's awesome. I'm not saying that. But he made a joke. He didn't disrespect the wife. You can disrespect someone's wife, to me anyway, this much and catch a beat down in front of everybody.
You mean a very small amount?
Yes. That was making a joke. That was like a roast. Like that's part of the game that they're all in.
Roast, that's the word.
Yeah. Like, look, disrespecting is the kind where it's not a joke. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, like, I don't know, if he would have said something like, hey, you kind of deserve that, or something that's not a joke, something that's disrespectful. Now you go into the realm of like, okay, well, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, that's who really couldn't take the joke, is the girl.
Yeah.
Will Smith has just suffered the consequences of the situation, poor guy, because of what you said. This is what it seems like. I can't read his mind. I don't know, but this is what it looked like. Where, yeah, he's laughing, then Jada Pinkett Smith, of course, she's not laughing, she's rolling her eyes, and then it kind of cuts, and then all of a sudden Will Smith's mad and going up on the stage accosting the freaking host of the freaking award show, right? But yeah, it's like a roast. Everyone gets roasted for worse stuff than that, by the way. Not just for balding, like, bro, guys are balding all day, every day. Yeah. And guess what they get teased about? Their bald head. Every single day, all day. And then all of a sudden,
are you getting sensitive about that?
All of a sudden, it's this big disrespectful freaking attacking someone's wife, and then this hero standing up for him. No, bro, you guys couldn't take a joke because you guys are all sensitive and weak. Yeah. That's what it was in front of everybody.
It's the opposite of, hey, this guy's tough and great because he's standing up for his wife. Actually, this guy's weak because he couldn't take a joke.
And then he stands up to Chris Rock, by the way. Who's a tough comedian? Dude, what about Joe Rogan?
Let's just go Joe Rogan.
You think Will Smith's going to stand up to Jordan? No. He's going to take the beating from Jada Pinkett Smith. That's what beating he's going to take.
Dang,
he stood up to Chris Rock. And what's Chris Rock going to do? Nothing. Not going to do nothing.
Yeah.
Will Smith knows that kind of stuff.
Well, as far as Chris Rock goes, my thoughts on Chris Rock. First of all, this dude got caught completely off guard. Yes, completely and utterly off guard. Don't ever let someone walk at you like that in any situation with your hands down and don't lose control of distance, right? Don't let someone enter your space without getting your hands, your feet, and your body into a fighting position. Now, look, this doesn't mean that you square off. This doesn't mean you put your dukes up.
Yeah.
But you raise your, you've seen this before. Like, this is what we teach in jiu-jitsu. Someone starts approaching you, you put your hands up kind of like hey, I don't want any problem. But now you're protecting your face and you're ready to do something. You switch your stance from being square, which, your square stance where you're just facing completely forward. You switch, you drop a foot back and you put your hands up. And that's kind of looks like you're backing away, which you are because you're creating some distance. So you don't let anyone ever walk at you without getting yourself in a position where you're ready to fight. Now, listen, the dude had good reason, a good excuse for this. No excuses, but his excuse is, bro, he's at the Oscars. He's talking to a world famous guy that's about to win an Academy Award, a guy that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And this guy that's saying stuff, Chris Rock, is a known actual comedian. And the standard protocol at these things is people get roasted. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. Lesson learned for everybody.
Yes.
No matter what the situation, someone starts walking at you, you get your hands up, you get ready to defend yourself, and that's what you do. And by the way, Will Smith actually ends up kind of looking weak too because he sucker punched the dude and Chris Rock barely, I actually checked, after he gets hit, he takes like a half a step back, and it's no factor to him other than it's humiliating, right?
Yeah.
So then once he got slapped, he made a choice. He actually made a choice, and he kind of read it the way that I was talking about earlier. He wasn't assaulted. Oh, people are like, he got assaulted. He didn't get punched in the face. He didn't get knocked out. He got slapped, and he read it as a warning that he had crossed the line. And like I said, the slap didn't even faze him. It was a weak slap. Like he chuckled immediately. He was laughing.
Yeah, it made a joke.
Well, that took him a second, but it barely moved him. And then he kind of laughed it off. And you could see Chris Rock was totally like shocked and surprised, and he didn't really know what to do. So he lightened the mood. He tried to make a joke. He said, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. He's trying to de-escalate, right? Trying to de-escalate. Good for him. He's a professional. He's trying to de-escalate. And sure, there might be people right now like, you got to be kidding me. If you get slapped, well, he's trying to maintain this whole freaking big deal. What's he supposed to do? We're gonna get in a fight right now? We're gonna get a brawl? He decided not to do that. And he decided probably almost instantly that this guy's got freaking issues. This guy, it's like when you're driving your car and somebody cuts you off and they start going crazy. You're like, you know what? This guy has issues. Exactly. This guy's having a worse day than I am. And Chris Rock realized real quick, hey, Will Smith's having a worse life than me by a long shot. He might be rich, he might be famous, he might be a movie star, he might be getting an Academy Award, but he has a worse life than me. He's hooked up with a crazy woman, apparently. Mm-hmm. They're in weird cultish activities with Scientology. Like, this is a nightmare. And so Chris Rock, completely surprised, tries to make out and then Will Smith starts yelling, dude.
Yeah.
And swearing. And Chris Rock's like, it was a joke, dude. That's literally what he says. It was a joke, dude. Mm. And then he yells again, keep my wife's name out of your fucking... Like, you can tell now, okay, he's not healthy, right? This guy's not okay. And then Chris Rock, again, you got to give him some credit. He totally detached. He didn't lose his temper. He just he actually acted like a man, right? Yeah. Now look, is there part of me that if he would have like ducked and delivered like a left hook and knocked this dude out, that would have been kind of epic, right?
Yes, sir.
But he didn't do that.
No.
Because he already failed 9 different ways by letting this dude get up and get close to him. So he already screwed up. But I'm talking after it happened, what was his reaction? What was he going to do? Like run after him and have people hold him back and start that whole thing? No, then he would have really looked stupid. So he was caught off guard by this happening so bad that it took him a couple seconds to realize. And once he realized the position he was in, this is where I'll give him credit. Once he realized the situation he was in, he didn't make it worse.
Yeah.
He salvaged it to the best of his ability. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he had to put his ego in check to do that, right? He had to put his ego in check to do that. To stand there and be like, "Hey, everybody, that guy's got issues, and I don't. I'm actually a grown ass man that is secure in myself, and I'm not going to react to this idiot that's losing his mind over his wife that obviously has issues." So he de-escalated. Now, if he wanted to, if he gets fired up now, dude, he could rip this guy apart. I mean, verbally, like he could make a YouTube video that would get 100 million views of him just bashing this guy, making fun of him. Yeah. Hey, this guy slapped me. I didn't even feel it. Right. Oh, hey, wait a minute. He could just go off. He could pull their whole freaking weird relationship, this open relationship, the fact that this girl's been running around with other guys, the fact that they're in a weird cult, that like all this crazy, he could just rip them up. He could rip him apart. He could rip her apart. He could do that. He could shred him like in a YouTube video. But I think actually the power move would be to say, hey, listen, Will Smith is clearly not happy. He's clearly having a tough time in his life. I never would mean to hurt anybody's feelings if I knew it was going to affect him so deeply. I wish him the best. I hope he heals up. I hope everything works out. Mm-hmm. That would be kind. And Chris Rock doesn't have anything to prove, bro. He's a legit guy. He's a self-made guy. His mom was a school teacher and his dad was a truck driver. He's one of 8 kids from Brooklyn, right? And he's one of the most famous comedians of all time. So he doesn't have anything to prove. But, once he got smacked, he already looked kind of dumb letting it happen. Getting all nuts afterwards, like I said, would have made him probably look even dumber. He wasn't even hurt. He wasn't even fazed. So, like I said, he shouldn't have let it happen. Don't let people get in your face like that. Don't get emotional. And don't let people talking smack affect you emotionally like that. It's just embarrassing. And imagine if Will Smith, if he wouldn't have done that and he would have gone up to the microphone late, when he got his award, and he would have said something that he could have thought through and said something powerful. If he said, listen, my wife has this disease and it can be really hard, especially in this industry. And, to me, the reason, I love my wife is because of who she, whatever. Like he could have really risen above it and come across like a really powerful, good dude. But unfortunately, he lost his temper and just caused this whole scene. So what can we learn from it? Keep calm. People are going to talk smack. That's what's going to happen in life. Don't get spun up. If you're getting mad, it's probably because you're insecure or they're striking at some level of truth. So be careful of that. And remember that if you're the one that's talking smack, you don't know what the other person's going through. You don't know what kind of day they've had. And if you run your mouth, you might get smacked. So don't be surprised if you're running your suck if someone gets up and slaps you in the face. So, and that means don't let people get into your personal space without getting into some kind of a defensive posture. That's what I got. Those are some thoughts. I'm sure I'm not right. I'm sure I'm not wrong. I'm sure there's some things that I don't know about the situation because I don't know about these freaking weird Hollywood characters. That who, despite their fame and their money and their luck and their entourages and their position of elevation in our culture, they're still just human beings. And we human beings are still just animals. So try not to act like one. Stay safe, everyone out there. And do me a favor. Be nice to each other.
But wait, though. So there's no consensus then for you? Like, was it right? Was it wrong?
There's probably 114 critique points where this could have gone in different directions.
Yeah.
So it's not like right or wrong. There's a bunch of right or wrong decisions that are made the whole way.
Right. You're so right. Because you started this thing when you were saying, you got to expect, there's the two sides, right? Where it's like, okay, you got a comedian making a joke, right? So people, when you make jokes about someone, especially if you make a joke about a girl, like a roast joke to a girl in front of her husband, just think about that, regardless of where it was, Oscars, no Oscars, whatever. You're making a joke about a girl roasting a girl, a female, in front of her husband. If you were to take a multiple true or false A and B question, would you expect to get slapped by the husband, or would you not expect to get slapped by the husband? Bruh, half of us would say yes.
You should be more than half.
They're both right. Put it this way, any answer is not surprising. Right, if I roast a girl on the street, now a lot of times I get it where it's like comedians, it's a joke and it's in a setting with a joke or whatever. Bro, the rule doesn't change.
But check this out, bro. You and Sarah Charles go to the comedy club. The comedy club, whatever it's called in La Jolla. Yeah. And you're sitting 3 rows back, you're not in the front row. And the dude looks out there, he sees Sarah Charles, and she's like, she insults her. Or sorry, the comedian insults her.
Yeah. So if he,
bro, you're at a literal comedy show.
Perfect. Yeah, that's actually a good question. So I'm at a comedy show, right? And a comedian makes it depends. It depends on the joke. So and even that has a bunch of different parts. So
what? I mean, dude, there's like the level of joke insult would have to be insane
for
to
me
get me to stand up and smack a dude.
100%. So,
and by the way, I wouldn't slap him.
Yeah.
He would have to say something where I'm attacking him to kill him.
Yeah. I would say, to answer your question, put it this way, the worst realistic scenario is like that he'd say something about Sarah that she's insecure about that really hurt her feelings. But that doesn't warrant me going and trying to beat up the comedian. Yeah. It doesn't warrant me that at all.
Yeah.
First off, and this is just my side of the thing, not the comedian side. The comedian side, you got to expect that kind of stuff. You start roasting girls and the husband comes and smacks you, bro, you got to be ready for that. 100%. 100%. But I'm not the comedian in this scenario. I'm the guy. Okay, there's a difference between how you feel and then how you behave. I've said that before. Where you're gonna offend me. What's the grown-up thing to do? For real. Like, I understand defending your wife and someone's attacking your wife and standing up for your wife. Like, all that, I understand that. But at a comedian show, and a guy makes a joke, even if it's a shitty joke, and it hurts your wife's feelings, bro, that's different. Yeah. Bro, you don't like the show, we'll just leave. Yeah. I'll be like, hey, you want to leave? I get it, and you just leave. That's not. You're not failing to defend her honor just because she got offended by the joke. Yeah. Bro, that's a whole different thing.
You know what's interesting about this is, let's say, let's say I was the comedian, right? And I'm 230 pounds and I'm up there and I start ragging. There's some guy that's 70 pounds or whatever, 150 pounds, and he's a nerd and he doesn't train. And I start ragging on his wife, right? Yeah. He knows that he can't fight against me, right? And that's real obvious, right? But here's the thing. Let's say the roles are reversed. I'm in the crowd. There's a 150-pound nerd comedian up there. I'm there with my wife, and he starts insulting my wife. I actually don't have the riffs or the, what's it called, like the shtick to talk smack back. He's a professional shit talker. Yeah. So if I engage with him, I'm actually going to lose. He's going to make me look even stupider. Yeah. He's going to be like, oh, you can't put a send. Oh, is that your best comeback? I mean, he's got all these things ready. So it's an uneven fight. So it's kind of an uneven fight for Chris Rock. They said that he told that joke during rehearsals and everyone was like laughing and thought it was funny.
They were laughing even during the thing. Yeah, everyone laughed.
So you have an unevenness of, you've got someone with a microphone and you've got the person in the crowd and you've prepared to insult them. Yeah. And you probably have some comebacks ready. Well, just because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, even if you're going to yell something back, you're engaging in combat that you're going to lose. That's my point. Yeah. If you're like, don't talk about my wife like that, what he's going to say to you next is going to destroy you and her. Yes, right?
Yep.
It's going to destroy. So what you're best to do is laugh. And look, if she's totally insulted, cool. We'll walk out. And even as you walk out, expect to get stabbed with some shots in the back, because that's exactly what he's going to make fun of you. Oh, she must be real insecure about that. I can tell why. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's best to keep control over your emotions. It's best not to give people the satisfaction of, if they can see it on your face. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're coming in hot. That's one thing you learn in the SEAL teams, right? Mm-hmm. If you show that if that's whatever they're saying to you bothers you, they're coming at it. Yeah. So don't let that happen, man.
So there's another theory too about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. So this is, I think, in 2016, Chris Rock was hosting again. And he was talking trash about Jada Pinkett Smith. He made a joke about her, roasting her again. She wasn't there. Uh-huh. I think that was the time they were boycotting it, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I forget. So Jada Pinkett Smith, not there, not at the Oscars. So they were like, something about Chris Rock's jokes said something like this, where he said, oh yeah, Jada Pinkett was like, yeah, I'm not coming to the Oscars or whatever. I declined to come to the Oscars. And then he said, hey, you can't decline to come to the Oscars. That's like me declining to go into Rihanna's panties. I was never invited in the first place. That was the joke. So there was that went on. So he was roasting her since 2016. So maybe Will Smith, because he said, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, maybe that had something to do with it. Yep. See what I'm saying? Maybe it was boiling over.
Yep. And again, if you're Will Smith, bro, man, you got to let this stuff like run off your back. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. And it's just going to be awkward now.
Bro, you know what it kind of felt like, too, when you watch it? Because, like, he went up there, smacked a little guy around, and just turned his back to him and walked back all casually and almost kind of proud. You know what it really came off and smelled like? Like entitlement. Like, I'm Will Smith. I can just roll up and smack guys that's smaller than me, weaker than me, because I get salty about their jokes and just walk back to my seat. It was super entitlement.
So you were a little pissed off about that whole scene, huh?
It was pretty whack. It was a bad look for sure. And I wasn't pissed off, but I was more like, you can see the violations on both sides, because comedians will do that too sometimes, where they'll just make jokes and they're up there, this little guy, like, this guy's not prepared physically for this thing. And I learned this when I first moved here to San Diego, where in Hawaii, if you talk trash to somebody, you just got to be 100% ready to scrap.
For cracks.
Yeah, for cracks. Exactly right. For at least a scrap.
Yep.
And this is not there's no exception. Like, you got to be ready for that kind of stuff. So in San Diego, I moved to San Diego, and I get it. It's a little bit more of an upscale club where, a little bit more entitled folk might frequent. Mm-hmm. So, man, the way they would talk to me was like, bro, it was baffling. It was confusing to me. But then you can see it in their eyes. They're like, bro, this guy's not ready for any physical confrontation. And that's how some comedians can be. Yeah. So I was a little bit salty with that too. I was like, oh, Chris Rock, brother man brought it back down to the streets. And, bro, you weren't ready for it, bro. Yeah. Even though you did handle it good. And it wasn't even that hard. Like, well, you know what it did? When he swung, he kind of almost like he was almost trying to dodge it right at the last minute. So I don't think it connected as hard as it could have.
Weak behavior. On all sides.
Right, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Right on. Anyways, I guess we'll add our freaking stupid opinions to this whole freaking dumbass situation. Don't put these people on a pedestal. They don't deserve it. Stay calm out there. Be nice to each other. That's what I got. We'll catch y'all later.